Damien Bracken. I'm Senior Lecturer in the Department of History here in University College Cork, and I'm Director of the International Summer School in Irish Studies. The theme of this year's school is the examination of Irish identity in different periods, from the earliest historical period right up until the modern period. And we look at it from a historical perspective, and we also examine it how Irish identity was expressed in literature, again from the earliest historical period right up to contemporary writers. The summer school began in 1979 as a joint initiative between the Department, as it was then, of Irish History and the Department of English, in partnership with Loyola University in Chicago. And over the years it's attracted many, mostly North American students, but in recent years we've also begun to attract more and more European continental students and international students as well, from around the world, in partnership with the International Education Office here in University College Cork, who played a very important role in promoting the school and awareness of the school across universities around the world. And a very welcome development this year is the enrolment of Irish students in the programme, and that's something we're very keen to encourage and develop. The focus of the school changes from year to year. If the year is a particularly important anniversary commemorating an event in Ireland's past, then we concentrate on that. So it looks at early Irish history, early modern Irish history and modern history. And we select a theme usually related to the development of Irish identity, and we will concentrate on one or two of those periods. University College Cork is a world leader in the field of Irish studies, and that is very much to the benefit of students who come here to study Ireland's past. They have expertise to rely on, experts teaching them, and they have a world-class collection of Irish studies, a research material in the Boo Library here in University College Cork. In my own department, in the School of History, there are 21 members of staff who have as their research and teaching specialism Ireland's past, Ireland's history. This is geared at people who have a general interest in Irish history and Irish culture and literature. But students who want to take it for credit are also free to do so. We award up to 6 credits for those who come to take the full month-length programme. Because there's such a concentration of academics with an interest in Irish studies in University College Cork, the success of the summer school in Irish studies is a measure of the recognition of Cork as a centre for Irish studies internationally. But the Irish Studies programme also contributes in a very general way to the identity of the university. University College Cork is an international institution with an international perspective, but it is also an institution which is sensitive to its locality, and it plays a major contribution to the development and cultural well-being of the part of the world in which it's located, in Southern Ireland, in Munster. What we're doing this year is we're looking at Irish identity, and which is a very big topic, but we're concentrating in particular in 2 areas. One is the very early historical period, and the other is post-famine Ireland. So students have a sense of the great chronological span. They have a big historical perspective, but because it is focused, it is a manageable course, a very manageable course. So we look at the earliest expressions of Irish identity to survive in literature. And this is going right back to the era of St. Patrick and in the centuries following him, when, following the conversion to Christianity, the early Irish attempted to gain a sense of who they were in relation to the biggest institution outside of Ireland, which was the Roman Empire. So the early Irish had to rationalise a sense of who they were, what their role was in relation to the empire, which through Christianity had a major impact in the development of Irish identity and Irish culture generally. And then in the post-famine period, we look at Ireland's attempts to articulate a sense of identity which differentiated it from other areas of the British Isles. So the imperial theme continues from the Roman Empire up to the British Empire. The Roman Empire, an empire the Irish were never a part of, but which had a significant impact on Ireland's history and culture, to the British Empire, an empire the Irish struggled for independence from. What we do in the programme is we attempt to challenge preconceptions and misconceptions which predominate even today. And one of those is that the only valid Irish identity is a nationalist, almost Republican Catholic identity. What we want to do is to show students that there were other voices expressing other identities, and those other voices had a significant impact on contemporary Irish identity. However, not all of the learning and teaching takes place in the classroom. We bring our students on a series of field trips outside of the classrooms, and we bring them to points of interest that we explore in the lectures around Munster. This year's field trip, we're bringing our students to 2 points of interest. One of those is very well known. It's Cashel, the ancient capital of Munster in South Tipperary. And the other place is much less known. It's quite near to Cashel. It's Athassel Priory, which is about 5 miles outside of Golden in County Tipperary. What the students will see when they come to Cashel is one of the most magnificent Irish historical sites. Cashel was the inauguration site of the Kings of Munster of this part of the world. The King of Munster dominated the politics of the southern part of Ireland, and at certain points in its history, some rulers of Cashel, dynamic rulers of Cashel, managed to push their authority and their power far into the north and challenge rulers in the north. Cashel changed its focus as a centre of royal authority at the beginning of the 12th century to becoming a centre of ecclesiastical authority when it was given to the church by the reforming King of Munster, Murchadach O'Brien, when he gave Cashel lock, stock and barrel over the church as sort of an ostentatious contribution to the ecclesiastical establishment in Ireland. So what we'll be seeing in Cashel is Cormac's Chapel, a chapel built shortly after that in the 1130s, and next to Cormac's Chapel in the following century is Cashel Cathedral. And this is important for the summer school because Cashel marks the point at which European ideas about governing, about royal authority, about ecclesiastical authority, about art and architecture come to play an increasingly significant role in Ireland's history from that point onwards. Cashel is a very well-known site. Athassel, however, isn't. It's monastic remains which cover acres of ground. It's not very well known because this is a foundation of the Anglo-Normans, the English invaders. So therefore there's a certain amount of cultural chauvinism that it's on the Irish landscape, but it's not entirely assimilated into that landscape, and for that reason it's very much overlooked, despite the fact that it is a very impressive centre. Students come to the summer school in University College Cork from all over the world, and they study Ireland's identity and the development of identity from historical and from literary perspectives. And any language teacher will tell you that the way to become fluent in a language is through total immersion in that language. And by coming, if you're interested in Ireland's past or in Ireland's literature, the way to develop your familiarity and interest in and with those subjects is to come to Ireland and to come to University College Cork, where you would be immersed in the culture and the history that shaped that culture and the literature that expresses that culture's identity. And this is very much the theme of next year's school also. And my co-director and colleague from the School of English, Mary Breen, can tell you about next year's programme.